we're going to get started in just a moment. And Robert, I see that you joined us as well. What I'm going to be talking about a little bit here today are some of the things that I put in my book about motivation and really succeeding in life. And it all, for me, the majority of it comes down to mindset. How we feel about ourselves says a lot about ourselves. And the problem is that a lot of people don't value, or at least recognize their value as much as they should. We often look at others and think that others are more successful or just better off than we are. And that is an injustice to us, because it may appear that people are a little bit better off, or maybe they have a better job or appear to have a better job. But again, they're appearances. And they may be going through a hell that you have no knowledge about. And so it really is important to understand that our mindset is what makes us into the people that we are. Either that mindset is positive or it's negative. And we get to choose. That's the wonderful thing about life, is that we get to choose our mindset. One of the things, superpower in mindset, is gratitude. And so many people don't take the time every day to be grateful for something. For example, when I wake up in the morning, one of the things that I do is that I take a few moments to be grateful. Number one, I woke up, my God. I happen to be here outside on the rooftop, and it's quite beautiful today. I'm grateful for that. I'm here speaking with you. I'm grateful for that. But my morning gratitude moments really consist of thank you to the universe, to God, for having given me another day on this planet. Thank you very much for the roof over my head, the food that I have, the relationships that I have. So it's important to take those moments to be super grateful. And don't compare yourself to other people. Again, we have no idea what these people are going through, or whether they are as happy as they look. So get rid of a mindset that keeps you down, one that doesn't challenge you to step up and do even better. Little changes can happen over time, and it goes to show that whatever you put your mind to it, if you are very serious about it, if you're super serious about getting it done, there's literally nothing that can stand in your way from getting it done. The only thing that can stand in your way, generally speaking, is you. It's what you tell yourself. If you don't tell yourself the right things, then you won't get to where you want to be. I'll use an example. A lot of people struggle with weight or their appearance. They want to lose and shed a few pounds, and so they say, well, I'm going to go on a diet. And they may try that, and then they'll give in to the piece of cake or to the extra beer that's in the fridge or whatever it is, and there goes the diet. Now, why does that happen? Well, it's a matter of commitment. It's a matter of how bad do you want this change? How bad do you want this new body or this new attitude? How bad do you want to make the changes in order to be the person that you want to become? And it is a mindset matter. So we really have to get to that. I'm going to talk about a couple of things. I'm going to talk about 4 rooms. This is a friend of mine. I'm just leafing through the pages here. All right. Good friend of mine. He's an American actor. His name is Glenn Morshower. And I really love this man. He's very, very smart. He's very down to earth, and he's very wise. He was talking about 4 rooms of consciousness. And I want you to think, as I speak to you about these 4 rooms, which room you're in. And I'll go through each and every one of them with you. And again, I credit Glenn Morshower for this. Room number 1 is the room of impossibility. This is where people say, oh, no, that can't happen. Their first words out of their mouth is, no, it's not going to happen, or no, I can't do it. That is the room of impossibility. They're not open to anything. Oh, well, you can lose that. No, I can't lose that weight. Or no, I can't ask that person out on a date. Or no, I can't do that. There's no possible way I can do that. No, they are stuck in the room of impossibility. To them, everything is impossible. Their mindset is fixed. Their mindset is not a mindset of growth and opportunity and optimism. And so they will stay in that room until they make the choice to get out. I hope you're not in the room of impossibility, the first room. That will get you nowhere. Everything that comes out of your mouth will be no, it can't possibly happen. It'll never happen to me. That won't happen. Now let's go to the second room. The second room is the room of possibility. This is where you really haven't made your mind up yet, but it's possible. It's possible that these things will happen. Maybe they're going to happen. So this is a much better room than the first room we talked about, the room of impossibility. The room of possibility opens the door to what can happen. And again, it's going to take your effort and your work to get into the next rooms. So if you're open to it, it's the room of possibility. Here we go. So we've covered the first room, impossibility. Nope, that'll never happen. Second room, yeah, you know what? That could happen. What do I need to do to make that happen? I don't know, but I'm going to start researching it. I'm going to start doing the work. The work is the big word here, and thank you very much, whoever's sending those emojis. I really appreciate it. And I just want to acknowledge Denise and Red Steer and all those, Cassandra. Thank you guys for joining me. So if you just joined, we're talking about the 4 rooms of consciousness, a gift that my friend Glenn Morshower shared with me and a number of other people. The first room, you don't want to be in this room. It's the room of impossibility. It starts with no. Nope, that can't happen. No, that'll never happen. I'll never get that. I'll never win. I'll never get the date. I'll never get the job. No. You don't want to be in that room. The second room is the room of possibility. Yeah, you know what? That could happen. Yes, it's possible. And yeah, I think I want to explore this more. So you're open to the opportunities that are out there for you to find or for you to create. Now let's go to the third room. The third room is the room of probability. Probability, it's a big word. It's leaning towards it's likely going to happen. Yes, I believe it can happen. I'm optimistic about this. It's probably going to happen. And my mindset is one in which I am a receiver. I am receiving all this great stuff. So it is possible for me to get these things that I want out of life. Now here we go. Let's move now into the fourth room. And I want each and every one of you to think about this very, very carefully when you examine your own life. It is the room of inevitability. It always starts with yes. There is no other way. Yes, I'm going to get that job. Yes, I'm going to get that date. Yes, I'm going to get that success. Yes, it is the room of inevitability. It's inevitably going to happen. Why? Because I am attracting it. I am saying yes to the universe. I'm doing the work that is required for me to get the things that I want. But guess what? It's inevitable. I'm going to get it. I'm going to work at it. I'm going to apply myself and put the energy into whatever it takes. But guess what? It's coming my way. So if you have these dreams and you're wondering why they're not manifesting for yourself, ask yourself what it is that you're doing that may need a little shifting. Are you in the room of impossibility? No, that could never happen. That mindset that no, that could never happen will get you nowhere. It will get you the same thing that you had yesterday and the day before and the day before and the day before. And I don't know about you, but I like a little variety in my life. I like a lot of variety in my life. So the room of impossibility is not the room to be in. That's the room number one. Number two, the room of possibility. Yeah, it might happen. You're open-minded. Okay, yeah, it could happen. I'm looking forward to it. It's great. Okay, it could happen. And as I said, the third room is the room of probability. It's gonna happen. It's likely gonna happen. I feel it coming. And then that last room, it's inevitable. It will come. And that's where your mindset truly needs to be. It needs to be in that place in which you believe that all things will come to you because you are open to it and you are letting the universe and those around you know through your energy that you are open for that. Let's talk about energy. This body of mine, it is energy. Everything around me is energy. This energy is coming out in all kinds of vibrations. It vibrates through the air and it lands on people. It lands wherever. But it is an energy from within. A lot of people have auras, and I can actually see auras if I spend enough time looking at someone directly in the eyes. If I spend 3 minutes with someone, looking at them in the eyes without saying a word, 3 minutes later, I will see colors shooting out of their head. It's a gift. It's amazing. That tells me a lot about the person, because the color of their aura is the color of their energy. Now, we get to choose. I don't know about how many people here remember the old radios where we had to take the dial and we had to tune in to the right station, and transistor radios. I'm old enough to know about those things. And there are still some really cool gadgets that you can kind of fine the frequency. We have to do that with ourselves, don't we? If we have a low energy, if we, for example, if we are beating ourselves up, if we are doubting ourselves, if we're always feeling low, blue, or unimportant, then we're going to be omitting a very low energy. And that low energy, as I said, is going to seep out of you. It seeps out of your head. It seeps out of everything. And it's going to travel. And what do you think that low energy is going to attract? It's only going to attract an energy on its level. It's only going to attract another low energy. So if yours is down here, you're going to attract that low energy. Let's use an example of going to a party. Let's say that. Going to a party. Hey, Paul, you going to a party? Yeah, I really don't really want to go. I never meet anybody at these parties. It's not, it's really not for me. And who am I going to meet? I mean, I'm not going to meet anybody. Where am I when I'm talking to myself this way? Am I in that room of impossibility? Yeah, I'm omitting a very low energy. So I drag my butt to that party. My shoulders are slumped, my head's down, and I walk in and I find my little corner so I don't have to deal with anybody. Who do you think I'm going to attract in that party room? Let's say that there are 75, 100 people there. They see me walk in, they'll glance over to see who it is. You think they're going to take any time to focus on me as I'm walking in with that low energy? Nope, they'll go right back to the people that have their same energy or energy even more than theirs. That's who they're going to focus on. So if I maintain that low energy attitude and go and sit in a little corner and just wait for the party to be over and not have any fun, I might meet somebody. Who do you think I might meet? I might meet somebody on the same low level energy as me. Somebody who didn't want to be there. Somebody who doesn't want to talk, doesn't want to open up, doesn't want to communicate, but they just want to sit with people with their own energy. Now let's take a look at that. Let's go into the next room. Let's go into the rooms of possibility and probability and inevitability. Let's crank that dial of energy up. Let's do it. Let's just turn it up. Okay, that comes from what you say to yourself. So, same scenario. I'm about to go to that party and I'm thinking, okay, you know what? I'm going to have fun. I am going to go there and I am going to meet new people, and I'm going to be open to anything that comes my way, and I'm going to attract people to me, and I'm going to be attracted to high energy people. So I go into that party, and how do I walk in? My shoulders are back, my chest is out, my head's up, and I'm walking, and I'm immediately making eye contact with people, and people are looking at me. I've got a smile on my face. My body language is transmitting a lot of positive energy. It's shooting out of my head. It's shooting all over the room. And you know who's going to be attracted to that? People who are high energy people, and those who want to be high energy people. Those are the people who are going to be attracted to that kind of energy. And it happens with you. It happens with the choice that you make. You program yourself. You get out of that fixed mindset that nothing can happen. Don't stay in that room of impossibility. Don't stay in that room of low energy. Crank it up. Just make an effort to crank it up. Believe in yourself and your value and your worth. And guess what you are going to attract? You are going to attract great things because the universe is going to start giving you the things that you are aspiring to receive. The energy that you transmit is what you get back. It's the law of reciprocity. I always have a hard time saying that word, reciprocity. But it is whatever you give is what you get. Let me give you an example of that. Generally speaking, at Christmas time or with people, birthdays who are special to us, we might make out a card and give them a card. A birthday, hey, happy birthday, here you go, let's take you out for celebration, this is great. And when your birthday comes along, these same people will probably give you a card. They're reciprocating, they're giving you what you gave them. And this is the same that applies to every aspect of our life. If I go in to work to do a good job, I'm probably going to do a good job. But if I tell myself I'm going into work to do a great job, then guess what? I'm going to elevate my energy and do a great job because I have programmed myself to think that way and to behave that way. Thinking alone is nothing. It's just, hey, yeah, it's a great thought. Nah, you got to put the energy behind it. You got to put the work behind it. But it's not work when you start to really enjoy it. So here it is. If you're thinking to yourself, you know what, I'm a pretty good girlfriend, or I'm a pretty good boyfriend, or I'm a pretty good wife, or I'm a pretty good husband, what's stopping you from saying that you're a great one? What's stopping from you from putting the energy into that relationship to be a good partner, to be a fantastic, an outstanding, let's even use that word, an outstanding individual? The only thing preventing you from doing it is you and the effort. And you have to ask yourself in life, how bad do I want this? Your mindset is a powerful tool. What you tell yourself, those narratives, if you are stuck in a bad narrative and that you think that life is always against you, it's time for you to break out of that mentality, out of that fixed mindset, and start reprogramming your mind. The neural pathways in your mind will start to take a different shape once you begin to practice and to continually speak to yourself in a positive way. I'm going to use another example. Let's say that, let's say that you have a friend, like a girlfriend, and she comes to you and she says, hey, I just met this guy online and he's really nice, and we got along, we exchanged a few messages, and we called, and I'm meeting him tomorrow night for our first date. And you're a very good friend of this girl, and you say, oh, that's great. Oh, that's fantastic. I'm so happy for you. And she goes out on her date. The next day, the day after her date, you ask her, well, how did your date go? And she says, oh, it really didn't go that well. I don't think he was into me. I don't know. He just abruptly got up and left. What are you going to say? You're going to say, well, no wonder he left, because look at you. You're fat, you're unattractive, and you're not interesting. Of course he would leave. Are you going to say that to your friend? Oh, I don't think so, right? What you're going to say to your friend is, oh, I'm sorry. Like that shouldn't have happened. You're a wonderful person. You're a fantastic person. He didn't see your value. So why, using that example, do we do that to ourselves? Not just a best friend, a best person right here. You're number one in your life. There's nobody else that takes a better spot in your life than you. You may love people, oh, for sure, but you're with yourself 24 hours a day. You're with yourself all these hours. You see other people, you share your love, and then you find yourself dealing with a million thoughts that come through your head. So why not treat yourself the way that you would treat the person that you love the most? And that person should be you. I know a lot of people say, oh, self-love, self-this. Yeah, hey, I'm saying it too. Self-love, this attitude, these narratives that you tell yourself, these are all things that make a significant difference in your life. If you want to be a successful person in this world, then start behaving like it. If you want to be a person who loses weight, who who starts a CEO's job or whatever, start behaving like it. Don't fake it until you make it. Start believing that you are that person. I just said wait because that seems to be an easy way to explain this. So you want to lose 10, 15, 20 pounds. Tell yourself, I'm a healthy person. Tell yourself that and convince yourself of that. What do healthy people do? That's the next thing. You ask yourself, what do healthy people do? Well, they watch their diet. They exercise regularly. They take care of themselves. They groom themselves well. They all this. A healthy person behaves in this way and then behave in that way. Do what the healthy person does. They don't eat 15 meals a day. They don't grab all those snacks. They don't go out drinking all night. They don't do this. Start behaving like that healthy person by visiting the gym, by putting the effort into it, and ask yourself again, and I said this right from the very beginning, how bad do you want it? How bad do you want to become that person that you aspire to be? If you do a little self-examination, and this is the next topic I want to talk about, when I get on a roll, my mind goes a million miles an hour in different directions. So I'm going to try to zoom it in on one. Let's talk about self-examination. There's an ancient philosopher, a Greek philosopher, Socrates, who once said, an unexamined life is a life not worth living. And there's a story behind that. But the whole focus of what he was saying is examine your life. Take a look at where you are and examine who you are and where you want to be. And once you do that brutally, honestly, then there may be some work for you to do. I'll give you an example. In my book, Take Control of Your Life, I explain it this way. You could take a sheet of paper, just take a sheet of paper or whatever, draw a line through it, and on the left side, write down a title, things that aren't going well, or things that are not great. On the other side of the paper, write things are going well, and then start examining it. Think about your life. Okay, so I got a relationship with X, Y, and Z, and now it's not going so well. We're not communicating. We had a fight last time. Okay, so that goes into the not so good. It's not going well. And so you think of the next thing, that's happening in your life. Maybe your work. You're doing extremely well at your work. Oh, so you write that in the right-hand side, the things that are going well. Once you have that list, and this may take you 20 minutes, 25 minutes, half an hour, but put the time into it and be brutally honest. Then you want to go through the things that aren't going well. You want to go through that list. Remember X, Y, and Z, that person I had that fight with, it's not going so well. Should I have them in my life? Are they toxic to me? Are they good people? Do they support me? Is this someone that's special to me, important to me? Is it family, a dear friend? Is it someone that I have to fight, for and make some changes? And if it is, then do the work. You know that that's a relationship that's worth keeping. So what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? Don't wait for somebody else to come over and fix all your problems. It's not going to happen. What are you going to do about it? So you think to yourself, all right, I need to go and apologize sincerely. And I need to change the way that I behave with him or her. And this is one of the steps to making that not going so well into a going really well. So you go through that. You might cut a couple of people out of your life. I have. I've gone through and I said, you know what? I'm getting nothing from these people. In fact, they're keeping me down. I want to be surrounded by people who are in my tribe, who think the way that I do, who inspire me, who motivate me, who lift me up. I want to be with people who are smarter than me. And so if that person's not if that person's on the list and I'm thinking they don't do that, I scratch them out. And you don't have to say anything harsh to them. If you want to get somebody out of your life, just don't contact them as often and just start to move away gradually and the message will be received. Now, let's go to the side of your paper that says you were doing really good. I used the example of the job. That's going really well. That's fantastic. That's a little celebration. Pat yourself on the back. Way to go. And can I do even better? But celebrate those victories, those good things. And through self-examination, you will be able to celebrate the good and work on the not so good. Because if you are sitting there, and I'll use dating as an example because a lot of people are dating and haven't found their soulmate. And they do some self-examination. Let's take a look at me. What is it that I'm doing? Am I clean? Am I washing my hair? Am I dressing well? Am I presenting myself well? Do I have confidence? And you write these things down. And you take a look and you say, well, no, I'm not putting myself out there enough. I'm not going out to meet people. I'm not going to different events. I'm kind of sitting at home, on a weekend. And my date is a bag of chips. And well, that's not good. So when you determine what it is that you need to work on, then you do the work. You do the work to get to where you want to be. And I will tell you, and Grace, thank you for joining, and I'm looking at some other names over here to everyone who has, let me see here, Akanam and Pidi and Cody, thanks guys. It really is nice to see you join me, and I hope Marie, thank you. I hope you're all getting something out of this. A little bit about me, and why I speak this way. I am a motivational speaker. I'm also a keynote speaker in negotiations. As a child, I was severely abused by a very violent alcoholic father. And I used to get locked in cages, and there were a number of terrible things that happened to me as a child. And I remember after one of my beatings, when my father beat me he beat me ever since I could walk. And after one of his severe beatings at the age of 7, I was lying on the floor looking up at him, and I remember telling myself in my head, when I grow up, I'm going to be a policeman so I can arrest you and people like you. When I was 8, about a year later, 8 years old, I still believed in Santa Claus. And my brother and I, 2 weeks before Christmas, we're waiting for Santa Claus. We're all excited about Christmas and Santa Claus is coming to town, right? Well, no, because my father walked in from outside with his .22 rifle and told us that he had just killed Santa Claus. So my dreams about Santa Claus, my belief in Santa Claus died that day, but that's the kind of man that he was. The reason I bring up the Santa Claus story is because he took his own life when I was about 17 with the same rifle that he used to take the life of Santa Claus. I became that policeman. At 21, I joined the police department because that's where my heart was. I wanted to help other people. And I quickly became open to some great jobs, and I became a detective. I became a hostage negotiator. I became an international peacekeeper, and I learned and studied so much about human behavior. I worked in the Special Victims Unit with a number of victims of sexual crimes, from the very, very young to the very, very old. And one of the big parts of my job was to be empathetic, compassionate, and supportive. And I got trained on how to listen actively and how to support people and how to encourage them. And I just got better at doing this, and I began to study it. And when I became a hostage negotiator, of course, if you're familiar with hostage negotiations, what you've seen on TV and in the movies, hostage negotiators have to be able to communicate well and persuade people and get people to cooperate with them. So again, I studied more about the human nature and how people respond to others and to our approaches and to the things that we say. And I ended up writing a book, my first book, and it got picked up by a major publishing company. It's called Hostage to Myself. It was originally called Hostage to Myself. It's now called Take Control of Your Life. During COVID, and when we went into lockdown, there was this application, it was called Clubhouse. It's still out there, Clubhouse. For those of you who might be familiar, I don't see anybody commenting on it, but Clubhouse was a social gathering spot that you could speak to people over the phone. And so people would join these rooms and they would talk. And it was a great way to connect with people during lockdown. For those who were locked down, it was a great way of just reaching out to people and being heard and valued. And I started a room on how to beat self-sabotage. And this is where I met my good friend Glenn Morshower, whom I mentioned earlier. He joined the room, and a number of other very well-educated people, doctors, psychiatrists joined the room. And we had a room that would attract hundreds of people, and at one point attracted 4,000 people. And I was the lead moderator, helping people who would come up and say, hey, I'm struggling with this. This is what I'm having a hard time doing. Some of the stories were heart-wrenching. I didn't have all the answers, but I had a panel of people with me who were specialists in the area. And so if I didn't have an answer to it, somebody on my panel just might. And in most instances, we were able to help a lot of people. So that's why I bring these messages to you. I do want to make a difference in this world, and I think that this is something that we all should consider for ourselves. You know, the meaning of life I think the meaning of life is to find your gifts. You know, what is it that you have that's special about you? What is it that you do that nobody else can do exactly like you? And again, this goes into a popular way of looking at things and just saying, okay, what's the meaning of life? Well, I have these gifts. I can paint, I can dance, I can sing, I can support people, I can listen to people, I'm empathetic, I'm this, I'm that. Once you find your gifts, then the meaning the meaning of life is finding the gifts. The purpose of life is sharing your gifts. Begin to share what it is that you have to share with others, because someone out there just may need what you have. And believe, start cranking up that energy, folks. Crank up that energy and just begin to bring high value into every aspect of your life. It is mindset. Don't focus on the outcome of whatever it is that you're looking to get. Focus on being in the moment. Focus on the process. Focus on just being there. I'll use an example too. I'm also a film actor and a television actor, and I've been studying a lot over the last few years, but more specifically over the last few months with Glenn Morshower. And I was listening to a book by Bryan Cranston. Bryan Cranston is a very popular American actor. He played the lead role on Breaking Bad, and he played also the father in Malcolm in the Middle. You may have seen him on television. But there's one thing he was talking about, and it was his mindset for going into acting. And I really received that message because it helped me. But I also see how it can apply to everybody's life with everything. He said that when he was a struggling actor, before he got those big roles, he would walk into an audition and be self-conscious. You know, who's competing against me? Who's here? You know, are they going to be better than me? I wonder if I'm going to get the job. Boy, I really need this job. I hope to get this job. They were, again, some of them, he would say that his mindset was of low value. He was nervous when he walked in. And of course, people will recognize that energy, right? They'll recognize when you're nervous because you're set at a low energy value. He spoke to his wife, and his wife gave him a gift. She sent him to see this coach, and this coach dealt with actors and artists. And this coach told Bryan, he says, you know, don't focus on getting the job. Focus on the process. Focus on giving the very best you have. Don't focus on the outcome. You don't have any control over the outcome. What you have control over is what you deliver. So go in there, have fun, and just deliver the best you possibly can. Just do the work and don't worry about it. After that, leave it. When he adopted this mindset, he said everything changed for him. He would walk in excited about being there. He wouldn't be concerned if somebody else got the job. Before, he would reluctantly say, hey, congratulations, but now he really meant it, because he knew that he was bringing his best self out to the audition. And life is one great big audition, isn't it, folks? That mindset of not worrying about the outcome of whatever it is, but focusing on what we can control in the moment is what really matters. Bringing in your best self, bringing in yourself every moment, and just responding to life as opposed to reacting to life. And this is what makes such a big difference. I'll talk about this more. I was only going to make this room about a half an hour, but I think it's gone a little bit longer than that. And I thank you so much for joining me in this journey. And I will, again, I'll post a notice that I'll be doing these talks, and I know that you'll get something from this. If anything that you've received from this room here today, from this talk here today, is to ask yourself which of the 4 rooms you are now in. Are you in the room of impossibility? Are you in the room of possibility? Are you in the room of probability? Or are you in that last room? It's going to happen. It's going to happen. So, I'll leave you with another idea here, and that is, turn up your energy. When you change your energy, you change your world. This applies to so much. And think of it, if you have a high energy but you change it, you go down, doesn't your world change? Sure does. The opportunities don't come as often. People don't connect as often. Same is true. If you're down here on a low energy and you crank it up, what do you think is going to happen? Great things. And people will be attracted to that kind of energy. So go out, be strong, be well, and until next time, thank you for joining me, and I wish you the very best.